Hello, in this video I'm going to describe a situation where we're trying to store instances of two different classes, namely the My Computer and My Phone class, into an array or an array list. Normally this is not a problem, but there's a situation that can occur, it's very common actually, where I want to store the instances of these classes into a list, and I'll try to describe the problem and show the motivation for which called inheritance to solve the problem. So let's take a look at these two classes first. My computer is a class that models a computer that I'm going to sell in my online store here. You'll see in a second. Has three instance variables for its price, memory, and whether or not it's in stock. A zero argument constructor, a three argument constructor. Method here called ship item, and a toString. So pretty straightforward. Okay. Then I have a second class on my phone, which is very similar: price, memory, in stock. It has an additional instance variable called carrier for the carrier of the phone. Otherwise, a zero arg constructor, a four argument constructor, the identical ship item method, and the toString method as well. Okay, it's slightly different because it has to print out the carrier name. But other than that, it's very similar. Let's take a look at the driver for this. So in this driver here, I am creating two different computers, Chromebook and a MacBook. And then I'm going to create an array that can hold my computers called shopping cart. Right now it can hold three items. I'm going to put two items in, a Chromebook and a MacBook that I previously created. And I'm going to use a for each loop to traverse the array of my computer objects and call the toString method here. So if I close this up and run it, no problem. This is the first computer that was initialized with the zero argument constructor. This is the three argument constructor, and this is the third space, which I didn't put anything into, so I get a null for that third element of the array. Okay, so no problem. So here's the situation. My shopping cart can hold my computer objects. That's fine. So for my shopping cart in my online store, a customer may want to add a phone. So in his or her shopping cart at index 2, the third item, I might want to add add a phone to the shopping cart because I want to buy a phone. So I'll say new my phone. I'll just simply use the zero arg constructor here. So I want to add to my shopping cart a phone, and if I try to compile this, I get an error because I cannot put a phone into an array that's defined to only hold computers, which presents us with a problem because I want to be able to add anything into my shopping cart. I also get a similar problem. Let me comment this one out. If I'll go down here and do it, if with an array list. So if I wanted to create an array list of my phone, let's say my phone, I'll call this the wish list, new array list, my phone. Okay, this wish list can only hold phones. So if I say wish list.add, I'll add a new phone, new my phone, and I compile. Everything's fine, so I can add a phone to an array list of phone of type phone. But if I in my wish list try to add a new my computer, which again a wish list is something I just want to add items to. If I do that, I get another error saying that I cannot put a computer into the array list because it only holds phones, not computers. So we have a problem here because I would like to group them together. The way I could get around it is create separate shopping carts and separate wish lists, but then I have to deal with two different arrays, array lists. I want to be able to store all the items in a single array or array list, shopping cart or wish list. So this presents us with a problem, but provides us with a motivation of introducing a concept called inheritance that will allow us to group them together, the computers and phones, into a single array or array list. So in the next video, we'll talk about the mechanics of how that's done with something called a superclass.